being the best of who you are. All of those things brought me back to my own sense of what I wanted to do.
In 1992, a single scene in Basic Instinct shocked the world and catapulted Sharon Stone to superstardom. But behind the cameras, a storm was brewing. Stone claims she was misled about the scene's explicit nature, while director Paul Verhoeven insists she knew exactly what was being filmed. This clash of accounts has sparked a decades-long debate about consent, manipulation, and the price of fame in Hollywood. Today, we dive into the truth behind the scene that nobody believed was real. Sharon's acting story started with one decision: leaving her small Pennsylvania town to chase big dreams in New York. She began as a model, gracing the pages of magazines, but modeling wasn't enough. She wanted to act. So she stood in line for a chance to be an extra in a Woody Allen film. That brief role in Stardust Memories was just the beginning. From there, things moved fast. She snagged small TV roles, bouncing between shows like Magnum, P.I., and T.J. Hooker. Then came action films like King Solomon's Mines, 1985, where she proved she could handle the adventure. And the punches. Critics weren't kind, but Sharon didn't slow down. She kept going, landing more parts in films like Police Academy 4 and Above the Law. She was determined to get noticed. And she did get noticed when she appeared in Paul Verhoeven's 1990 sci-fi blockbuster Total Recall alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger. Her performance, particularly a scene where she quickly transitioned from evil to loving before her character's death, caught Verhoeven's attention. This led to her big breakthrough, where she landed a role in Basic Instinct. However, Stone's journey to landing the iconic role of Catherine Trammell in Basic Instinct was not easy. She wasn't the first choice, or even the 10th. In fact, 12 actresses, including Hollywood heavyweights like Michelle Pfeiffer and Julia Roberts, had already turned it down because of the role's explicit content. Sharon? She was the 13th on the list. But Sharon wasn't about to let that stop her. She threw herself into the audition process, which dragged on for an exhausting 8.5 months. She fought for the role, showing determination that couldn't be ignored. When she finally got the part, even her co-star Michael Douglas had doubts about working with someone relatively unknown. But Sharon was ready to prove she belonged. Ironically, her lack of fame became her secret weapon. Her name didn't even appear on the movie poster, just her face and Michael Douglas's name. This air of mystery made audiences curious. When Basic Instinct hit theaters, Sharon Stone captured everyone's attention, but not all of it was for the right reasons. The film sparked massive controversy, and at the center of it all was one unforgettable scene. Even 32 years later, that moment still lingers in discussions about the movie. To truly understand why it caused such a stir, we need to take a closer look at that specific scene. The scene everyone talks about is the interrogation scene in Basic Instinct. In this moment, Sharon Stone's character, Catherine Trammell, sits in front of a group of male police officers. She's calm, confident, and completely in control. Then, she uncrosses her legs, and the audience realize she isn't wearing anything under her skirt. It's a quick moment, but the camera angle makes it very revealing. The scene caused a huge stir, not just for what was shown, but for how bold and unexpected it was. But the drama didn't stop with the film's release. Over the years, Sharon Stone has become more vocal about her feelings regarding the infamous scene. In her 2021 autobiography, The Beauty of Living Twice, she revealed the behind-the-scenes story that added fuel to the controversy. Stone wrote that she was asked to remove her underwear during filming because it was reflecting light, but was assured that nothing explicit would be visible on camera. That assurance turned out to be far from the truth. The first time she saw the completed scene was in a room full of agents and lawyers. As she put it, "It didn't matter anymore. It was me and my parts up there." Shocked and betrayed, she walked to the projection booth, slapped director Paul Verhoeven, and left. She immediately called her lawyer, ready to take action. Sharon has also reflected on the moment publicly. At the 2019 GQ Men of the Year Awards, while accepting the Woman of the Year prize, she spoke openly about what she called the moment that would change her life. That scene also brought her under intense scrutiny, something she's had to navigate ever since. Director Paul Verhoeven has a very different take on the infamous scene and Sharon Stone's claims. In an interview with Variety, he called her version of events impossible, insisting she was fully aware of what they were filming. According to Verhoeven, the scene was inspired by a real-life woman he knew as a student who intentionally performed a similar gesture at parties. He claimed Sharon agreed to recreate the idea, understanding its provocative nature and its significance to the character of Catherine Trammell. Writer Joe Esterhaus, who penned Basic Instinct, has distanced himself from the most controversial moment in the film. While his script included plenty of nudity, Esterhaus insists that the infamous interrogation scene wasn't his creation. Speaking at the 2013 London Screenwriters Festival, he admitted, "This is a terrific scene, but the downside is that it overshadows what I think is a really intricate film noir." He even suggested that the scene may have done Sharon Stone a disservice, overshadowing her nuanced performance with its sheer shock value. During the festival, Esterhaus expanded on the origins of the scene in an interview. He revealed that the provocative leg-crossing moment wasn't in his original script. In the screenplay, there was a scene where Michael Douglas's character watches Catherine Trammell change, and it's clear she isn't wearing underwear. However, director Paul Verhoeven took that concept and reimagined it into what became the interrogation scene. Esterhaus humorously described Verhoeven's approach, calling it the work of a mad genius Dutchman. According to the writer, Verhoeven pushed for the shocking moment, even referring to it with a playful irreverence, as he discussed the details of how the shot should appear on camera. Wayne Knight, who played a key role in the infamous interrogation scene, became an unforgettable part of Basic Instinct thanks to his perfectly over-the-top reaction, as the camera focuses on his stunned expression. After Catherine Trammell uncrosses her legs, Knight delivered a reaction that became just as iconic as the moment itself. The controversy surrounding Basic Instinct goes far beyond what the audience saw on screen. The real issues lie behind the scenes, particularly in how Sharon Stone and other female cast members were treated during the production. Over the years, several accounts have surfaced, but Stone's 2021 memoir, The Beauty of Living Twice, offers a more detailed and personal perspective, shedding light on the injustices and mistreatment she faced. In her memoir, Stone describes the pressure and manipulation she endured, particularly surrounding the infamous interrogation scene. She revealed how she was misled about what would appear on camera, and how little control she felt during the process. But this isn't the only troubling story Sharon Stone has shared. Recently, she revealed another shocking experience from her Hollywood career. While filming the 1993 thriller Sliver, producer Robert Evans, a powerful figure in the industry, pressured her to have sexual relations with her co-star, Billy Baldwin. According to Stone, Evans claimed that this would improve Baldwin's performance in the film. Stone refused, but the incident left a lasting mark. It's yet another example of the kind of behavior she faced in an industry where power often came at the expense of respect. Being asked to cross personal boundaries for the sake of a performance shows how far some in Hollywood were willing to go. disregarding an actor's comfort and agency. Robert Evans, who passed away in 2019, was a well-known producer with a big reputation. But this revelation paints a darker picture of his influence. By sharing this story, Stone continues to shine a light on the unfair and often harmful expectations placed on women in the film industry. After Basic Instinct made Sharon Stone a household name in 1992, her next career-defining role came 3 years later in Martin Scorsese's mob epic, Casino, 1995. Playing Ginger McKenna, the manipulative, drug-addicted wife of Robert De Niro's character, Ace Rothstein, Sharon delivered a powerhouse performance that cemented her as one of Hollywood's most versatile talents. The film was both a critical and commercial success, earning over $100 million at the box office, and Sharon's portrayal earned her widespread acclaim. For her role, she won a Golden Globe and received her first, and so far only, Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. Casino wasn't just another film for Sharon. It was the highlight of her career. Working with legends like Scorsese and De Niro was a dream come true. In interviews, Sharon compared the experience to going to the Olympics, describing how challenging it was to keep up with the duo's relentless work ethic and high standards. "Can I be good enough? Can I keep up?" she recalled asking herself. She pushed her limits, determined to prove she belonged among the greats. "When I started acting, my dream was to sit opposite De Niro and hold my own," she said. With Casino, she achieved exactly that. Sharon's performance as Ginger McKenna was transformative. Ginger wasn't just a trophy wife, she was a deeply complex character. Her descent into chaos, fueled by a toxic mix of greed, addiction, and betrayal, added layers of tension to the film. In one of the most intense scenes, Sharon went toe-to-toe with De Niro during a heated argument, showcasing raw emotion and earning respect from her peers. "It's deeply gratifying," she said in a 1996 interview. "I got up to bat with my dream people, and I proved I could do it." For Sharon, Casino represented everything she had worked toward in her career. While Basic Instinct may have made her famous, Casino proved her depth as an actress and remains the crown jewel of her filmography. After the success of Casino, Sharon Stone took on several challenging roles in the late 1990s. She played a manipulative mistress in Diabolique, a death row inmate in Last Dance, and a biologist in Sphere. Unfortunately, these films didn't connect with audiences or critics, but there were bright spots too. In 1998, Sharon's voice performance in the animated hit Ants was a success, and her heartfelt role in The Mighty earned her a Golden Globe nomination. Things got tougher in 1999 when Gloria and the Muse received mixed reactions. Though Sharon's performance in The Muse was praised, the film didn't make a big impact. Around this time, controversy over Golden Globe campaigning also cast a shadow on her work. In 2001, Sharon's life took a dramatic turn when she suffered a life-threatening brain hemorrhage. Forced to take a break from acting, she focused on recovery, later admitting she felt like she'd lost her place in Hollywood. She made a strong return in 2003 with an Emmy-winning guest role on The Practice. But her attempts to revive her film career with Cold Creek Manor and Catwoman fell flat, with Catwoman becoming notorious as one of the worst movies ever made. Despite these struggles, Sharon's determination kept her going, proving she wasn't done yet. After her earlier successes, Sharon Stone's acting journey from 2005 to 2017 became a mix of hits and misses. In Broken Flowers, 2005, she played a fun, quirky character opposite Bill Murray. The film did well, and Sharon's role reminded everyone how sharp and entertaining she could be. But the same year, her return as Catherine Trammell in Basic Instinct 2 didn't go as planned. The film was delayed for years, didn't impress critics, and flopped at the box office. Sharon kept going, though. In Alpha Dog, 2006, she played a grieving mother in a serious role that got her praise. She also joined the ensemble cast of Bobby, a movie about the final hours before Robert F. Kennedy's assassination. Her performance earned her and the cast an award for Best Ensemble, showing that Sharon could still hold her own in meaningful projects. As time went on, Sharon took on a lot of smaller, independent films. While some, like Lovelace, 2013, got good reviews, others didn't make much of an impact. One of her standout moments came in Fading Gigolo, 2013, where she showed off her charm and humor in a light-hearted role that critics enjoyed. She also appeared in James Franco's The Disaster Artist, 2017, which became a huge hit and reminded audiences of Sharon's presence in memorable films. During this time, Sharon didn't just stick to movies, she also appeared on TV. In Law & Order Special Victims Unit, she played a tough prosecutor, earning praise for her performance. She even starred in the short-lived TNT series Agent X, 2015, taking on the role of America's first female vice president. Sharon Stone's love life has been as eventful and unpredictable as her career, filled with whirlwind romances, surprise engagements, and a flair for the dramatic. Her first big romance began in 1984, when she met TV producer Michael Greenberg on the set of The Vegas Strip War. Sparks flew, and the pair tied the knot that same year. Greenberg even worked as her line producer on Alan Quatermain and The Lost City of Gold in 1986, but their marriage didn't last. By 1989, they had separated, and their divorce was finalized in 1990. It was Sharon's first Hollywood love story, but far from her last. In the early 1990s, Sharon dated comedian Gary Shandling, who was also her acting classmate under coach Roy London. Though their romance didn't last long, their friendship endured. Sharon even appeared on his show, The Larry Sanders Show, in an episode humorously titled The Mr. Sharon Stone Show. The two remained close until Gary's death in 2016, a testament to their bond. In 1993, Sharon met producer William J. McDonald on the set of Sliver. Their connection was immediate and scandalous. McDonald left his wife for Sharon, and the two became engaged. But Sharon's fiery independence shone through when the engagement ended just a year later. Ever the queen of drama, she returned the engagement ring via FedEx. Sharon wasn't done with romance just yet. While working on The Quick and the Dead in 1994, she fell for Bob Wagner, the film's first assistant director. They got engaged, but just like her previous relationship, it didn't lead to marriage. Sharon seemed to have a knack for whirlwind romances that left as quickly as they came. Sharon Stone's most high-profile marriage began on Valentine's Day, 1998, when she tied the knot with Phil Bronstein, a respected journalist and editor. The couple seemed like the perfect match. Hollywood glamour meets journalistic grit. But beneath the surface, Sharon faced heartbreaking challenges. She suffered multiple miscarriages due to an autoimmune disease and endometriosis, making it impossible for her to have biological children. In 2000, Sharon and Phil adopted a baby boy, Rowan Joseph Bronstein, bringing a much-needed light into their lives. Sharon embraced motherhood wholeheartedly, balancing her busy career with her new role as a mom. However, cracks began to appear in their marriage, and in 2003, Phil filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Their split was tough, but the hardest blow came when a judge ruled that Rowan would live primarily with Phil, leaving Sharon with visitation rights. It was a deeply emotional chapter in her life, but Sharon remained resilient. Motherhood, however, was a role Sharon was determined to expand. In 2005, she adopted her second son, Laird Vaughan, and the following year welcomed a third son, Quinn Kelly Stone, into her family. With her 3 boys, Sharon built a loving home in West Hollywood, California, in a house once owned by legendary actor Montgomery Clift. Despite the ups and downs of her personal life, she found joy and purpose in raising her sons. By 2018, Sharon had fully embraced her life as a single mother, focusing on creating a nurturing and supportive environment for her family. While her marriages may not have lasted, her journey to motherhood became the heart of her story. Sharon Stone's passion for making a difference took center stage in January 2005 at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. During a panel discussion on African poverty, she was moved by Tanzanian President Benjamin Mkpa's remarks about the devastating impact of malaria in his country. In a bold and emotional moment, Sharon stood up and turned the conversation into an impromptu fundraiser, urging the room to pledge $1 million for mosquito nets to combat malaria in Tanzania. Her charisma and urgency worked. Within minutes, she secured the pledges. But what started as a feel-good moment of advocacy quickly turned into controversy. Critics, including UNICEF, argued that Sharon's actions were impulsive and poorly researched. Of the $1 million pledged, only $250,000 was actually raised. To honor the commitment, UNICEF had to step in with $750,000, redirecting funds from other projects to make up the shortfall. While the nets were supposed to help protect Tanzanians from malaria, reports suggest that many were never distributed as intended. Instead, some of the nets vanished from local airports and bizarrely reappeared on the black market, reportedly repurposed into wedding dresses. Another time, Sharon Stone found herself at the center of a major controversy during the 2008 Cannes Film Festival. And this time, her words created a storm she likely didn't anticipate. While speaking to Hong Kong's cable entertainment news on the red carpet, she was asked about the devastating Sichuan earthquake, which had killed thousands in China. Her response was both candid and shocking. Stone expressed her concerns over China's treatment of Tibet and her friendship with the Dalai Lama. She then linked the earthquake to karma, saying, "When you're not nice, bad things happen to you." The implication that the earthquake was some form of cosmic retribution outraged many, especially in China, where the comments were seen as deeply insensitive during a time of national mourning. The backlash was swift and fierce. China's UME Cineplex chain, one of the country's largest theater chains, announced it would no longer screen any of Sharon Stone's films. Ung Si-yuan, the chain's founder and a prominent figure in the Hong Kong film industry, called her remarks inappropriate. Advertisements for Dior featuring Stone were pulled across China, and she was dropped as a guest at the 2008 Shanghai International Film Festival, with organizers even considering banning her permanently. Initially, Dior China issued an apology in her name, but during an interview with the New York Times, Stone denied ever authorizing it. She boldly stated, "I'm not going to apologize. I'm certainly not going to apologize for something that isn't real and true, not for face creams." However, she also admitted, "I sounded like an idiot," acknowledging the clumsiness of her original remark. But the story didn't stop there. Shortly after the interview, Sharon released her own statement titled "In My Own Words" by Sharon Stone, where her tone shifted. "I could not be more regretful of that mistake," she wrote. "It was unintentional. I apologize. Those words were never meant to be hurtful to anyone." This more heartfelt apology seemed to show genuine remorse, though it came after significant backlash. In March 2006, Sharon Stone stepped away from the glitz of Hollywood and into the heart of global diplomacy. Traveling to Israel, she joined Nobel Peace Prize winner Shimon Peres for a press conference aimed at promoting peace in the Middle East. It was a moment that highlighted her commitment to using her platform for good. Years later, in 2013, Stone referred to Peres as her mentor, showing the lasting influence he had on her life and her passion for humanitarian work. That same year, her dedication to making a difference earned her the Peace Summit Award for her efforts in supporting people with HIV/AIDS. It was a recognition of her tireless advocacy, further cementing her status as more than just a star, but a true force for change. In 2015, Sharon's humanitarian spirit took center stage again when she was honored at the Pelosio Building Peace Award in Milan. But she didn't just accept the honor quietly. She turned the event into a powerful moment of action. On stage, in front of a crowd of CEOs and dignitaries, she started an impromptu auction. Her charisma and passion were so infectious that she secured enough pledges to fund the construction of 28 schools in Africa. It was yet another example of Sharon's ability to channel her star power into real, tangible change. From promoting peace in the Middle East to improving education in Africa, Sharon Stone has proven time and again that her influence extends far beyond the screen. With every effort, she reminds the world that compassion and action can go hand in hand, and that even in unexpected moments, meaningful change can begin.